Dan Holston here with another Rev Up Your Business video. Today it's part 5 in our 5-part series on profitability. So before we get to today's topic, let's recap what we've covered in the prior 4 videos. So here's what we've learned. We've learned about our gross profit margin percentage, how to calculate it, and why it's so important in our business and how to protect it as well. We've learned about the dangers of discounting. We've learned how to calculate our break-even and budget for profit. We've learned which products and services we have are the most profitable for us and how to calculate which ones we can deliver on as quickly as possible in the shortest amount of time so we can earn more money in less time. So in other words, we've covered a lot on profitability improvement. So if you've been doing your homework, and I know you have, because you're a good student, right? Good. Then you should at this point be enjoying a higher level of profitability in your business. Assuming, of course, you're getting paid. And that's the topic of conversation for today, actually turning your profitability into cash. So there's a little saying I'd like you to remember. Profit is vanity, cash is sanity. And what that means is that profit is just an idea. It's something that's owed to us. Until we've actually received it, we haven't got it. Until you can see it in cash in the bank, we actually don't have that profitability. So I want to share with you 3 strategies today to improve your collections. So the first one is establishing upfront terms with your customer of your payment expectations. The second is going to be on invoicing. And the third is going to be on your actual collections procedure, what happens if you don't get paid. So let's start at the beginning here. Setting the expectation with your customer on when payment is going to happen. I see a lot of business owners, they don't communicate this at all. They just do the work, send off an invoice, and they wait. And they start calling after the money when they're not getting paid. And what they've failed to realize is that their customer has an expectation of when they're going to pay. And it's different than the business owners. They might think they're going to get paid as soon as the invoice is received, but the customer might think it's going to be a 30 or 60-day term of payment because that's what they're used to. So to avoid disappointment all around between you and the customer and creating ill will, let's make sure that you establish upfront the payment terms for the services being rendered. So it could be a 30-day term. It could be that you want to be paid due upon receipt, which means your customer will enter your invoice into their payment processing system as soon as they receive it to get you paid right away. Or it could be that you're going to be taking an upfront deposit to get work started and then taking additional payments along milestones if you're working along a project. You're taking a payment at certain times when certain things are completed and getting paid a small, maybe 10% at the end of the project. So whatever your terms are, make them as short as you possibly can and communicate those to your customer at the time of sale, not afterwards. Okay, so right away and up front. So that's number 1, communicating your payment expectations. The second is about invoicing. We want to make sure that we invoice our customer as soon as possible. Now, if your business is retail, that's probably not a problem. Someone's going to be paying at point of sale. So you can fast forward to the next bit. But if you are invoicing your customers and you've set clear expectations on payment, let's get that invoice out as soon as possible. I see a lot of business owners really delaying on this. They don't invoice even weekly, and I know some that have invoiced monthly, and these you have to do all kinds of invoices all at once in the month, which leads to cash flow up and downs. So we want to make sure we're invoicing as soon as the work is complete. Now that might mean that you're going to invoice once a day or throughout the day, or it could be every other day. Whatever your process is, tighten it up and invoice as often as possible. So if you're in the trades, for instance, there's applications you can get or apps, programs that your service people can use. When they're out in the field, they can turn their work order into an invoice that gets emailed to your customer right then and there. And you can actually use, some people, you can use Square or some other application. You can get paid right away, right on site as well. You don't have to have a paper invoice these days. You can email invoices to people as well. So whatever you do, find something that shortens your invoicing time. Don't invoice monthly for work that was done 3 weeks ago. That money is owed to you for all that time. We have to remember your customer is going to have a bit of a process for their payment as well to you. It's going to take some time. They're going to have to receive your invoice, enter it to their system, and wait on their payment processing time frame as well. So there's that delay that could happen as well. So we want to make sure we invoice as soon as possible. So our third strategy is, what do we do to collect when payment is late? So here's something that I see business owners not doing. They ignore it. Oh, they'll pay it next week. They'll get it soon. I'm sure they're good for it. Well, they may be, but if you don't, first of all, remind them that the money is owing, you're not going to see it. It could be that it's fallen by the wayside in their process, or they didn't get your emailed invoice, or they've lost the invoice. They've forgotten, right? We have to stay on top of this kind of thing. So the challenge that I have with some business owners around this is that they say, well, I don't want to be calling after the money. It looks greedy. No, it doesn't look greedy. It looks professional. Remember, part of the agreement with your customer is you're going to deliver on the product and service, and they're going to pay you. That's the value exchange. Not we're going to deliver on the product and service and then chase you for months for the money. No, it's been established up front with those payment terms. That was lesson number 1, right? Number 2, you got your invoice out on time as soon as the work was done. Number 3 is your customer needs to pay you on time. So if you have a payment that's late, you need to have a process to keep track of that. So an effective accounts receivable process in place. Somebody needs to own this, okay? If it's not you, the business owner, somebody on your team needs to, on a daily basis, run your receivables report and with the receivable aging report and see how old are the receivables that you have. If you've got money that's owed to you that's older than 90 days, that money is at risk. It's been out there for too long and you may have some challenges collecting it. So we want to start with prevention and establish our terms up front, get paid as quickly as possible, not let our money get 90 days old. So as soon as we see that something is past your payment terms, if you have 30-day payment terms, day 31, someone's on the phone calling after that money. That's just being professionally looking after your money. Now let's say you have a customer that's paying you late consistently and you still go do work for them. Now what? Well, here's a tip for you. Stop working for them. Okay? Don't do the work anymore until they've caught up their payments. I see a lot of business owners do this. Their customer's a good guy, good gal, they're kind of buddies, and they trust them, and they get strung along, and all of a sudden, despite best intentions, their customer might go out of business, or they might have a cash flow problem, and all of a sudden, the business owner's not getting paid, and they have a huge liability. They've all kinds of cash that they're not going to collect. So we need to make sure that we have effective call out or follow up and stop working if you're not getting paid. Okay? So that's it for today. Have effectively communicated terms with your customers. Make sure you invoice right away to start that payment process as soon as possible. And have a collections process where you're looking at your receivables on a regular basis and taking action for any money that's old, that's past your payment terms. So I hope that this video series has been valuable for you. It's been fun to do, and we've got another one coming up shortly. It's going to keep it secret for now, what that's going to be, but check back next week and you can start on that one. But in the meantime, enjoy your improved profitability and get some processes in place to get that money in for all your hard work. Get paid. Don't let it get lost. That's it for this week. Have a fantastic week and look forward to seeing you next time.